What's up out there? Welcome back to Melvor Idle Adventure Mode. We are on episode 6. Now, it's been like a little over 2 weeks, maybe a day or two past 2 weeks. And I'm now through the volcano. Done, over with, moved on. So I just did this actually, not too long ago, a little bit earlier today. But one of the things that was holding me back from getting into there was I didn't have enough prayer points. And then it dawned on me that I had some Slayer coin and I could go in here to the Slayer area and buy one of these basic resupplies and get magic bones, bury those, and get 20,000 prayers. So that's how I did that. The gear that I used is basically what I have equipped aside from this elite amulet of defense. But basically fully upgraded adamant helmet, and then the rest was fully upgraded rune gear. I did go ahead and get the paladin gloves, which I got a couple of comments about why didn't I worry about leveling up ranged. My goal, you can certainly level up ranged, and you can certainly use the van braces, and they do have better damage reduction available than the paladin gloves. The difference being, the paladin gloves took me about an hour and a half. Now, this is once I was able to actually get up to this point to fight this guy. But once I got up to this point, I let it run for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, somewhere in that fuzzy realm to get these gloves. Ranged would take me a day or two, maybe a little bit more to level it up. It's going to take a lot longer. It's significantly more effort is involved. I'm not looking to level up ranged quite yet. So I didn't want to mess with that. There's going to be some logistical issues that come in. Like I have this slingshot. This thing is great. It takes 0 ammo and it will get you to probably level 40 fairly well for range, because I've used this in the past for one of our speed runs or whatever. But at some point, I am going to have to start using arrows, and I do have a stack of arrows for some of this stuff, and I've started getting some bolts here with that Slayer coin purchase I did earlier. But at some point, this is all going to run out. I'm going to have to come up with bows, which I can steal all that. The crossbow bolts, or the crossbow is easy to get, but the bolts are not. So at some point, I'm going to run into issues leveling range. So that's why I haven't really wanted to bother with it just yet. I could probably get level 30 or 40 fairly easily with the slingshot, maybe even 50 if I worked at it. But I wanted to keep pushing forward with my melee side, because the melee is what's going to get through the volcano, and getting through the volcano is done. So I now have the various god dungeons unlocked, and I did get into the air god dungeon for just a brief moment. So I've got 32 air shards. I went through to the first 2 floors. I started on the 3rd floor. I could have kept going because as soon as I finished the volcano, I immediately went in and started working on it. And I thought I'd check it out and see how it goes for this character at this moment. I'm in mid 70s, 74 attack, 77 strength, 73 defense, 74 hit points, 54 for level prayer, and 61 on Slayer. I know Slayer doesn't count for dungeons, but it allows me to go into the various Slayer areas and get gear out of them. At the current level that I'm at, and at the current gearing that I have with the adamant and rune and stuff, this wasn't that bad of a fight. So I now have 2% damage reduction with the fire cape. And now that I've beaten it once, I have the air god dungeon unlocked. So now is going to be the time that I want to start working on ranged and start planning on that, because once I am in the air god dungeon, which I am currently, I can now level up to 70, 75, whatever level it is, 80. I don't remember what level you have to be, but now I can start getting up and equipping gear from this place. So now it's going to be important to get that. So if I get a clear off of the air god dungeon, I can take whatever I have, equip it, and then keep going. You know what I mean? So I have a couple of things that I need to get done first, which is secure food and secure prayer. I have fishing unlocked. I've been doing a lot of it. And I do have where's it at? I do have the raw skeleton fish up at full mastery. So it's not this one. I have a chance to get double fish, but once you get the mastery, you always catch 2 of the fish. So that's good. And I started getting, what did I get here? With thieving, I went and spent some quality time getting up this ring of wealth, which gives you a chance to double items. So that's cool. Um, so I've got some opportunities, whatever you want to call it. I have some abilities to get more fish. I just need to start getting into summoning and stuff like that so I can get the tablets and double item. And, you can gather a lot more stuff with astrology and summoning and things like that than I can right now and make things faster and all that. So I'm kind of running into that limitation. Yeah, I've got all these skills and I'm pushing forward fairly well, but I'm kind of running into issues with I don't have enough prayer points at the moment. I don't want to burn what I have because it just goes away and it's gone and that's it. I need to let this go a lot more and get a lot more skeleton fish. I may start fishing up the raw magic fish. Those can make money, but you can use those without cooking them, so you get in there faster. And I'm really trying to push it forward as fast as I can, reasonably, not like stupidly blundering forward, but kind of pushing forward. So I got a bunch of prayer points fished up. I'm fairly happy with the leveling that I've got. We're pretty high on some of this stuff here. You can tell where I stopped Township, and I haven't really bothered with Township, although I have been knocking some tasks out. So I've got 15 of the easy ones and 5 of the normal ones done. So that's cool. One of the ones that I want to get to is this one here. If I can beat the Krakens, however many more times I need, 30 some times, whatever that is, I can get this dragon scimitar, which is cool because that's a total upgrade to what I'm using now with the rune scimitar, and it's free. Like I just have to go do kill the dungeon boss and I'm done. And I've got a few clears on that, and I now have a little bit better damage reduction. So once I get my food situation a little better, I was using these pies, whatever this is, because these heal for 2,400. That's how I cleared I guess I better go through what all I got. So I did work on the deep sea ship a little bit. I did get herb lore opened up. Of course, I opened that up, I think, in the last video, but I worked on leveling this up so that I could get to the gentle hands potions. I stole up a bunch of strawberry seeds and I used that to get into thieving. And I worked on, I now have 95% mastery, and I worked on getting a lot of these masteries up. I thieved off of a few of these guys for a while. The merchant I stole a bunch of stuff off of to get the herbs built up. And I stole off the farmer for a while to get seeds and stuff built up and, make some money and collect some things there. I think I hit up the assistant cook for a little bit to get, chicken and beef pies. Beef pies is what I'm using now. And then I think I started, I might have looked at the chef for a little bit, because once you get the potions and thieving gloves, once they're equipped and active and everything, that moved it along. But I also spent time on the court jester. I got a bunch of his stuff unlocked. So that's why I have that ring of wealth and more to get money off of him and stuff like that. That was kind of why I was pushing ahead. I spent some time on the squire, got a bunch of his stuff. I had whetstones, which are now gone. I used the knight's cape to get through the dungeon that I did. And then I think I don't remember if I did the acolyte because I needed some nature runes, or was it the wizard? I don't remember if I stole off of this guy, but maybe, I can't remember. Doesn't matter, but I stole from a variety of the NPCs on here for money or items or whatever. I needed certain things to finish off certain tasks in the township tasks. So I spent a lot of time doing this. I spent time getting the 95% mastery, and any extra mastery pool I had was spent on other things. Like I said, I got into herb lore. I got some of this stuff done, mostly for the gentle hands, and I spent time getting up the melee accuracy potion. Those are the two that I really wanted, because the melee accuracy potion is something that works with all your combat stuff, melee combat, and then thieving potion for thieving. Let's see. I guess I probably didn't have this all of the rune gear that I have now. I still don't have the helmet, but I did spend some quality time farming the rune guy for this stuff. Paladin gloves took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. And like I said, I just wanted to get this knocked out and get it fairly quickly. It's another 4% damage reduction. Let's see. I did save up enough money. I had 25 million, whatever it cost, and I bought Auto Eat Tier 3. So this was the big thing of how I got through the volcanic cave, because I now have I've spent some time fighting and getting strength up and hit points up and whatever else, whatever all I've raised since the last video. I now have 2960 hit points. Well, it will auto eat at 2960. So that was getting me above the threshold for most of the stuff in the volcanic cave. Just the last two bosses were the only ones I had to worry about. And even then, it was just holding down when Malx did the big attack instead of the fire breathing. So no big deal. I've also been focusing on normal Slayer tasks and killing as much stuff there. So I need 8 more so I can buy the gear for this. So that's cool. That's taken care of. And I'm working on this one here. This is another township task that I am working on. It's for the dragons somewhere in here. It might be a hard one. No, it's a normal one then. I don't think it's easy. So maybe I turned it in. I may have already turned that one in, actually. Yeah, looks like I already turned that one in. But I've been doing normal Slayer tasks just to try to keep that pushing along. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. So we're now through the volcano, which is where I wanted to go. It's now time to start looking at what it takes to get ranged leveled up. The cool thing about range is I don't have to change anything. I can put the slingshot on. I can't remember if it's one or two-handed. But the cool thing is it's one-handed. So a one-handed weapon with this much damage reduction behind it, I can fight anything I need to and just let it run on ranged for a while, and we're good to go. And then I can start getting gear. I also have the ability to go into here and get whatever bows or arrows and whatever all this crap is that I can get. I can go. I do need to work on, say, the bandit base and maybe the spider forest and get some gear out of those. So those are possibilities for leveling or for getting stuff for my ranged character. I do want to get to a point where I can start idling the Hall of Wizards with ranged. So that will be coming also. Not sure when. I've been buying some gear slots, and I do have a chunk of money saved up to keep buying some more things. I'm not quite sure what I want to buy. I should save up for dungeon equipment swapping because it's kind of getting to be a headache. I have to back out of the dungeon and switch something and then go back in. Not necessarily a big deal, but for 30 million, it's a lot. I also want to save up this 300,000 Slayer coin for the extra equipment set. So I'd like to get that. Just haven't quite got there yet. That would give me the ability to have another gear set so I could do like ranged or whatever. And that might be the next thing that I work towards is to just continue doing Slayer tasks until I get stuff unlocked and see where things go. So immediate plans are Slayer tasks and pushing into the Air God dungeon, gearing up for that. And that is where we are currently. So that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.